Lyndon Baines Johnson, often referred to as LBJ, became the 36th President of the United States under tragic circumstances. Following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963, Johnson, then Vice President, was thrust into the nation's highest office. Born in Texas in 1908, Johnson's path to the presidency was long and winding. He was known for his towering personality, sharp political instincts, and a relentless drive to achieve his goals. Johnson's early life was steeped in the values of rural Texas. He witnessed firsthand the struggles of ordinary Americans, particularly during the Great Depression. These experiences would later shape his political ideology and his commitment to social justice. Determined to make a difference, Johnson entered politics, serving as a congressman and later as a senator. He quickly rose through the ranks, earning a reputation as a skilled legislator and a master negotiator. Johnson arrived in Washington with a deep understanding of the legislative process. He had a remarkable ability to build consensus and push through ambitious legislation. As Senate Majority Leader, he earned the nickname Master of the Senate for his ability to steer bills through the legislative maze. Johnson's legislative prowess would prove critical when he assumed the presidency. He faced the daunting task of uniting a grieving nation and advancing President Kennedy's unfinished agenda. Johnson, however, was not content to simply maintain the status quo. He had his own vision for America, a vision he called the Great Society. This ambitious program aimed to eliminate poverty, expand educational opportunities, and provide health care for all Americans. The Great Society was a sweeping set of domestic programs, unparalleled in scope and ambition since Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal. Johnson believed that government had a moral obligation to uplift its citizens and create a more just and equitable society. He used his political skills and the nation's grief over Kennedy's death to push his agenda through Congress. Among the most significant achievements of the Great Society were the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. These landmark pieces of legislation outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, finally fulfilling the promise of equal rights for all Americans. Johnson also signed into law Medicare and Medicaid, providing health care to the elderly and the poor. Section 4. Civil Rights Crusader. Johnson's commitment to civil rights was unwavering. He understood the deep-seated racism that plagued American society and was determined to root it out. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a monumental achievement, but Johnson knew that more needed to be done to ensure voting rights for all citizens. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, passed after a long and bitter struggle, finally removed the barriers that had prevented millions of African Americans from exercising their right to vote. Johnson's legacy on civil rights is complex. While he championed landmark legislation, he also understood the potential for a backlash, particularly in the South. He famously remarked upon signing the Civil Rights Act, "We have lost the South for a generation," acknowledging the political price he knew he would pay. Despite the challenges, Johnson remained steadfast in his belief that all Americans deserved equal rights and opportunities. Section 5. The Shadow of Vietnam. While Johnson achieved significant domestic successes, his presidency was increasingly overshadowed by the escalating war in Vietnam. Initially reluctant to commit American troops to the conflict, Johnson felt compelled to honor the commitments made by previous administrations. The Vietnam War, however, proved to be a costly and divisive quagmire. As the war dragged on, public support dwindled, and anti-war protests grew in size and intensity. Johnson, once a master of consensus, found himself increasingly isolated. The war took a heavy toll on his presidency, and in 1968, he shocked the nation by announcing that he would not seek re-election. Section 6. LBJ's lasting legacy. Lyndon Johnson's presidency was a time of great turbulence and even greater change. He left office a deeply polarizing figure, his legacy forever intertwined with the Vietnam War. However, his domestic achievements, particularly in the areas of civil rights, education, and healthcare, continue to shape American society today. The Great Society programs, while not without their flaws, lifted millions of Americans out of poverty and expanded access to opportunity for all. Johnson's unwavering commitment to civil rights helped to create a more just and equitable society. His presidency stands as a testament to the power of government to effect positive change in the lives of its citizens. Lyndon Baines Johnson, the accidental president, left an indelible mark on American history.